A million output tokens from Kimi K3 costs $15. The same million from DeepSeek's new Flash model costs 28 cents. That is DeepSeek 5.4 Flash, released on the 31st of July, and MIT license. And before that price does your thinking for you, it is not as good a model. Independently scored, it lands 7 points below K3. So the interesting question is not which is smarter. It is what a point of intelligence costs. And on that measure, the gap is not 50 times, it is bigger. 3 things make it cheap. Only 6 of its 256 experts wake up. The draft model that speeds it up ships inside the weights, and it barely charges for what you already sent. Then the 4 places this stops being a bargain. Start with the one number neither lab controls. On artificial analysis, Kimi K3 scores 57. GLM 5.2 scores 51. V4 Flash scores 50. Here's the part I did not expect. DeepSeek's own big model, V4 Pro, scores 44. The small cheap one beats the large expensive one by 6 points on the same index. Which is why the honest measure is a ratio. 28 cents divided by 50 points is about half a cent per point. $15 divided by 57 is 26. Trick 1, and it is the oldest one in the book by now. Its config file is public, so you can count it yourself. 256 routed experts, and 6 of them fire for any given token. 6 of 256 is 2.3%. You pay to run about a 40th of the model per word. That is why the price starts with a 0. That is trick 1. It is not novel anymore. It is just done well here. Trick 2, and this is the one worth your attention. Normally, speeding a model up with speculation means running a second, smaller model alongside it. You have to find it, load it, and keep it in memory. A small model guesses the next several words. The big model checks them all in one pass, and whatever it agrees with is kept. V4 Flash ships with that draft module attached to the checkpoint. In SG-Lang, you do not even pass a draft model path. You turn the flag on. That does not make it cheaper per token on the API. It makes it cheaper to serve, and it is why you get the same trick running it yourself. So trick 2 moves throughput, not the sticker price. Worth saying plainly. Trick 3 is the one that will change your invoice the most. Input you have sent before is billed at a cache hit rate, 14 cents a million on a miss, 0.28 cents on a hit, 50 times less for the same tokens. And agents resend enormous amounts of identical text. The same system prompt, the same files, the same conversation every single turn. That is where the cache rate becomes the whole bill. Stack the 3 and you get half a cent per point of intelligence, against 26, about 47 times. And that is where the 50 times figure comes from. On output alone, $15 against 28 cents is 54 times. On input it is 21. Blended, 34. It depends what you send. Which is the real finding. There is no single cheaper multiple. There is a cheaper shape. And whether it fits depends on whether you write more than you read. Now the bill, because I owe you 4 of these. 2 of them only became true in the last week. And the gap is not evenly spread. On DeepSeek's own hardest internal set, Flash scores 59.6 against Opus 4.8's 71.7. On easier agentic tasks, it is within a couple of points. Second, every number in that table is DeepSeek's own, run by DeepSeek, and 2 rows are internal sets nobody else can run. Third, DeepSeek's own pricing page says peak pricing is coming, and that rates will double for 2 windows of the Beijing working day. Fourth, that 50 against 57 averages 9 evaluations. A 7-point average gap can be 0 on the thing you actually do, or 20. So, if you are generating a lot of text or running agents that resend the same context, this is the obvious default now. If you are working at the hard edge of what models can do, those 7 points are exactly what you are paying for, and you should still pay them. For 2 years, the open weight question was which model is best, and that was the right question, because they were all roughly the same price. They are not anymore. The spread across that list is now 7 points of intelligence and a factor of 47 in cost. You decide which number your work is sensitive to. It is one base URL change if you are already on an OpenAI compatible client, and the weights are MIT if you would rather host it. Everything is linked below. If you switch something over, put your before and after monthly bill in the comments. That is the only benchmark that is yours.